this is really a time for us to shine, or it's going to be an opportunity for us to mess up. People really don't know what you can do until you are tested. We really are going to have to be on our toes to make sure we are doing all the things we know how to do and do it properly.
When we started planning 14 months ago, we reached out to RPS, we reached out to Jefferson County EMA, Birmingham Regional EMS, and said, look, I know it's early in the game, but we want to go ahead and kind of start working through how we start talking about moving patients.
At that time, we were looking, as a company for RPS, we were looking at probably putting 10 to 15 ambulances in the move, and thinking that the other agencies would do the same. But as we got closer to the move and seeing that the census, we could probably get that down to 100, and some of the other agencies having to drop out because they didn't have enough resources, we stepped up to the plate and put 30 plus ambulances in the move.
Our internal planning, I think, is what made the move. Our staff had gotten together, decided how many trucks that we could provide, what our staffing is going to be, and we moved forward with that idea in hand of what we needed to do.
Our school of thought the whole time was 1 day move, maximum 6 hours, safety first, let's get everybody safely moved.
Be careful, be safe. If you get in trouble, call us on the 800 radio, okay? If something in the convoy goes wrong, they'll tell you to say Mayday, Mayday, just holler at us first and we'll let you know if it's a Mayday, okay? So let's be careful, let's walk up there and let's go to this meeting.
A big concern from other areas that we provide service for. Some of the fire chiefs, had heard about us making this move, and that's one thing we had from the start is we're not going to jeopardize any other areas that we're already providing service for.
So we were able to provide 40 plus ALS ambulances for our 9 counties, and then 35 ALS ambulances for the move.
One person per student, paramedic right here in this line, the other one over here to wait. Checking out your radio.
Make sure she got her back.
Split up.
My biggest concern was the neonate transports. They had used another service to do their neonate transports, and they were going to do it on move day, and we were contacted Tuesday before the move day that they had backed out, and that put us moving the neonates.
There was some questions coming in that morning who would actually be in control as the commander where we were at with staging. We had EMA in there as well as our guys and other transport services, but we always have a system. We've moved 2 hospitals in the past. We've evacuated 2 hospitals from bomb threats within the last 5 years. So we kind of have an action plan of our own, what we do. And once I think EMA seen what we were doing, they just let us have the show really to run. So
the nurses were to make sure that they had no loss of continuity of care between Trinity and Grandview. They wanted to make sure that this was not a transfer. This was a continuation of their care from hospital to hospital. It worked pretty great. We had actually already been meeting with the nurses prior to this. We'd met with their bosses. They'd actually, some of them had been riding in our trucks to make sure that they were able to get in the back of a truck, because you can get into motion sickness riding in the back like that. So it worked out pretty great. The crews blended real well with the nurses. If you looked at a lot of the Facebook, a lot of the guys had the pictures with the nurses that rode with them, because we tried to keep the same nurse with the same crew during the day.
It was a little bit of nerve-wracking, but once we got the flow, everybody was pulling in, and we had our set up, and then the command center set up, and then it was just really playing the game. We had a staging area, and we'd send 8 ambulances up at a time. We call them a package, and they would pick up at different points at that hospital. So, and then when those get loaded, they'd come down to meet the police department. They would escort them out, and while they were going to the police department, to the rallying point to meet with them, we would start going ahead and building that other package with 8 trucks moving up. We have certain trucks that has ventilators, certain trucks that need to carry the neonates, and we just want to make sure we got the right people to the right person, to the right patient.
I think the police department gets the A+. I was really impressed with Birmingham Police. They made the move a lot easier on us. We didn't have to worry about intersections. They blocked off on-ramps. So, you know, when you say that you've got other agencies you got to work with, that day worked well. You had Birmingham Fire involved with it. You had Birmingham PD. You had EMA. I know they actually had some ham radio operators that was making sure that at certain locations that package was together. So it worked very well with that many agencies involved.
From the planning to making sure all the trucks were clean, equipment on them, to getting them there on time, and then just taking care of the patients and everything being smooth and not having any safety hazards. I'm very proud, I mean, because they did an outstanding job.
I knew that we really were over qualified to do the job. It wasn't a stretch for us to do it. It was actually easy.
We're not gonna drop you, I promise.
And knowing that we really strive for performance and excellence, and it really showed. So I'm really proud of our management and all our employees. It shows that we do care.
You know, you're getting there at 4 o'clock in the morning and try to make this move, but you know, a lot of them were tired, but they really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It was something different and something that we do really well, those big instances. And so it was just, you know, you don't move a hospital that often, so if you was involved with it, it's maybe a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
Thank you to RPS and thank you to the team. There's a million names that I could thank, and there's a million of them I hugged that day. But it was a great moment for us, a great moment for them, and we're glad, we're fortunate to consider them a partner.